Hello student, welcome back to my channel. So today we will discuss here about the next unit 7, property of bulk matter, in which we will discuss today the first topic, property of solids. So here we will start this unit, unit 7, properties of bulk matter. So in this unit we will talk about first properties of solid. Point clear? So here first when we talk about the properties of solid, so we will start the first point, elasticity. You know that the meaning of elasticity. So here when we talk about the definition of elasticity is the property of solid by virtue of which when the deforming force is removed from that object, so the object regain its original configuration. So here we have before that elasticity term, we have the term deforming force. Deforming force. Deforming force is basically nothing. It is a force, external force by which we can deform the size of the given object. Means that we can produce a strain in the given object by this deforming force. So deforming force is an external force by which the configuration of the body changes. Point clear? So that type of force is called deforming force. Here, when we talk about the definition of elasticity, it is the property. It is the inertial property, you can say, inertial property of a body by virtue of which the body regain its original original configuration after removing the deforming force. Point clear? So, on the basis of elasticity, we have two type of other definition. First is perfectly elastic objects, or you can say elastic behavior of object. Elastic behavior means that the same condition is that those objects in which after removing the deforming force, the object regains its original configuration of size, that type of object are known as perfectly elastic object, and the behavior of that object is called perfectly elastic behavior. When the object or body regain its original configuration after removing deforming force, original, you can add one thing, regain its original configuration completely. You can write one thing completely after removing the deforming force. these objects known as perfectly elastic behavior object. Objects or bodies. Okay, this point here. And second one is perfectly plastic behavior object. Those those objects which do not regain its original configuration after removing, deforming force. This definition is just opposite to the first definition, which is perfectly elastic behavior. Point placement. So these are two definitions, and after that we will discuss here one more thing, which is elastic limit. So when we talk about the next one, elastic limit. So elastic limit we can define as the limit in which the object, the maximum value of deforming force, you can add one thing, deforming force at which object obeys the elastic behavior. Beyond this force, the elastic behavior is converted into plastic behavior. So, elastic behavior known as elastic limit means that after removing the deforming force, object regain its original configuration. So here, after this elastic limit, if you want to understand this definition much more, you can add one thing. Under this limit, the object obey Hooke's law, in which we can say later on stress is directly proportional to strain. You can add one thing. In this limit, you can add this statement here. After that, you can start from here. In this limit, object obeys Hooke's law. According to Hooke's law, stress is directly proportional to strain. I will explain this point later on. What is the meaning of stress and what is the meaning of strain? But here, for this definition, to complete this definition, I have written here Hooke's law, the way of Hooke's law. So we can say that the object limit is elastic limit. Beyond this limit, the behavior of object does not elastic behavior. Point clear, student? So this one is the some definitions, and after that we will discuss the next topic. So for that, pause the video and note down. Now, after the discussion about the basic elastic behavior, plastic behavior, and elastic limit, we will start here some points which is in front of you here: stress and strain. So here we will start the next point, stress. Stress means you know that when we talk, yeah, here we are talking about the deforming force. As we know that when the deforming force act on a body, it deform the configuration, or you can say the size of the body. So after removing the deforming force, the body regains its original configuration under the elastic behavior. But when we talk about the plastic behavior, it does not. Okay, so here, as we know that it's supposed to be under the elasticity when we apply the deforming force, the configuration of the object changes, and after removing that deforming force, the object regains its original configuration due to restoring force. So that restoring force per unit area is known as stress. Means restoring force, you can define restoring force per unit area is equal to stress. But when there is no permanent change in configuration of the body, means that after removing the deforming force, object retain its original configuration 100%, you can say that time the external force, or you can say deforming force, is numerically equal to the restoring force. Or you can understand this point in this way: the restoring force act per unit area will be numerically equal to, but in opposite direction, with respect to the deforming force per unit area. So you may define the same definition in the term of deforming force per unit area, or you can say external force per unit area. Point clear, student? So I am writing here the definition of stress. We can say if the deforming force act on a body, removes the body regain its original configuration due to restoring force restoring force restoring force basically. If the if there is no permanent change in configuration, this deforming, or you can say restoring force, restoring force is equal and opposite in direction, equal and opposite to the deforming force, or you can say external, that deforming force is external force. Point clear? Therefore, if we want to define the definition of stress, so we can write the formula: stress is equals to restoring force, restoring force over restoring force per unit area, or you can say restoring force over cross sectional area of the body. Or you can write restoring force per unit area. And after that, if we want to write the same definition in the term of deforming force, we can write stress is equal to deforming force over cross sectional area of the body, or we can say deforming force per unit area. Point clear? So these are the definition of stress. So here when we talk about the type of stress, before that we can write here the SI unit and dimension also. So in short, we can say here it is our force, it is our area. So stress also we can write in simple form F over A. Now when we write about the SI unit of this, so it will be Newton per meter square, or sometimes you can see it is written as like this, and the dimension formula for this is force dimension formula MLT minus 2, and here dimension formula L square MLT minus 2 L square. So in short you can write direct ML minus 1 T minus 2. It is same as pressure. Point clear? So this is the definition of stress, and after that when we write here about the type of stress, types of stress, so we will find two type of stresses here. First, normal stress, and second is tangential tangential stress or shearing stress. And when we want about the part of normal stress, so we can write here first part is longitudinal stress, longitudinal stress or tensile you can say stress, and B part is compressive stress, and C is hydraulic stress. Point clear? So one by one I will discuss the all type of stress in front of you. So for that pause the video and note down. So here first we will discuss about the normal stress. Normal stress. Normal stress is that stress we know that force per unit area, restoring force per unit area, and the external force per unit area. So here when we write about the normal stress, as I have written here, normal means perpendicular. So we can say that when the deforming force act on a body is perpendicular to the cross section area of the body. That time the stress is known as normal stress, and inside this normal stress we have two ways to apply the force in solid objects, and here in third one is based on hydraulic stress. So first I will write here longitudinal stress, or you can write tensile stress. When the deforming force increases the length of the body, or increase in length, or you can say extension in length of the body. The stress is called the stress is called tensile stress. Point clear? So here for this condition you can say if we have a body of length supposed to be, this is the length of body which is L, and when we want to apply the force, deforming force, it is vertically in downward direction, then we will see that the same in this same body, the length of the body increases point there. So it is a delta L supposed to be, and this is a L. So that time here after applying this force, which will be normal to, or you can say perpendicular to the area of cross section A. So this is our first diagram, this is second. So this type of stress is called tensile stress. It increases the length of the given wire. So after that we can write here compressive strength, in which the deforming force means external force, deforming force decreases the length of the body or wire. Point here, and it will also perpendicular to the cross sectional area. So that time this type of stress is known as compressive stress. So we can draw the same diagram for this condition also. This is our original configuration. Now here what happens, after applying the force supposed to be here, if you want to apply the same force, we can apply the same force from top side. Here I am using this force, deforming force from downside to upside. So by which the reduction, this is the initial one, by which the reduction of this is like that. So it is a L, and this is now after removing this, after applying the external force, this one is the decrease in length which is in vertical direction. So the final length is L minus delta L. Point clear? So this is called a deforming force in the sense of compressive stress. Point clear? So the formula and other things are same. Force per unit area. It is also force per unit area. It is also compressive stress also, and tensile stress also, force per unit area. Overall it is a stress. So these are the two definitions, and after that when we write here about the hydraulic stress. Hydraulic stress means we are talking here hydraulic stress. It is the stress by which when the force acts perpendicular to the cross sectional area will change the volume of the object. So that time the stress is known as hydraulic stress, and for that stress we can consider a spherical body in fluid, or you can say here, if you have a spherical body and inside the spherical body supposed to be, we have a fluid, means liquid, under high pressure, the liquid will apply force in all of their direction if suppose the liquid is inside. So that time we will see that this force, which is under high pressure, will exert a force in all direction perpendicular to the cross sectional area, will change, try to change the volume of the given object. So here we have initial volume supposed to be, and it will increase the volume from V to V plus delta with this dotted part. Point clear? It is very small as compared to this. Not focus on that diagram, which make large gap as you are saying here, as you are saying. So hydraulic stress, we can say that when when the deforming force changes the volume of the body without changing its shape, known as hydraulic stress. Point clear? So for this condition, we can say here, if the body is spherical, and if suppose we can take another case, if the body is spherical and placed inside the fluid under high pressure, that time the fluid will, if the body is supposed to be is spherical and placed in a fluid under high pressure, that time the fluid will exert a force on their cross sectional area, normally inward direction, so that in second case the volume will reduce from V to V minus delta V. Point clear? But here in the all conditions the force is acting normally to the surface, so it is also a type of normal stress. Therefore, the same one, hydraulic stress is equals to force per unit area also. Point clear? So this one is the definition of hydraulic stress, and after that we will write here the next definition, which is in tangential stress or shearing stress. So for that, pause the video and note down. Now after the discussion about the type of normal stress, here we will write second one, which is tangential stress or shearing stress. Point clear? So when we want to write here tangential or shearing stress, as we know that here the name is tangential stress, so we can write when the force acting on a body is such that it changes only the configuration of the body without changing the volume, known as tangential stress or shearing stress. If the body, if the deforming force acting on the cross sectional area of the body such that it changes the shape of the body without changing the volume of the body, known as tangential or shearing stress. Point here. So if we want to draw the diagram of this one, we can say here. So this one is your diagram. When we will apply the force on this face, upper face, this is the lower face which is fixed. So that time the body will deform in the configuration, but the volume remains same. So here this is the deforming index which we will discuss in strain condition. This is supposed to be the L is the length, and this is the deforming distance linear displacement x, which we will discuss later on. So here this type of stress, in which when we talk about, supposed to be we have this book, and in which the bottom of this book is rigid or fixed, and we are applying the tangential force on this space at the tangent. See here, this is the other end, one end is rigid fixed, and this one is the second end. So here if we apply some force, you will see the bottom is fixed, but the lower part will tend, or you can see the bend in that direction, in which direction the force is applying. So this is the force which changing the shape of that object so that the volume of the given object is same. So this type of force is called a tangential force. So after the discussion type of forces, we will start here about the next one, which is a strain. So when we discuss here about the strain, what is the meaning of strain? So strain means when we apply the deforming force on the given object. We know that their configuration is changes, or you can say it is changeable. So that time we can start here the ratio of change in configuration of the body to the initial configuration, point clear, known as strain. So this is the definition of strain. So we can write here strain is equals to change in configuration upon initial configuration. Point clear. Now after that definition, we will write here types of strain. So when we want to write type of strain, we have three type of strain. First is longitudinal strain, point clear, which is in favor of longitudinal stress. And then second one is volumetric strain, volumetric strain, strain, and third one is a shearing strain. So on the basis of these strain, we have different type of coefficient of elasticity. So we will discuss one by one here. So first, when we write about longitudinal strain, longitudinal means based on length. So here we can say directly the definition: longitudinal strain, it is equals to change in length on applying the deforming force in either in form of tensile stress or in form of compressive stress over all the change in length the given wire or body is suspended from the rigid source. So we can say that longitudinal strain is equals to the ratio of change in length over initial length of the body. Point clear? Now the second one is volumetric strain, or you can say volume strain, volumetric strain. As we know that about the hydraulic stress, in which the force acting normally to the given surface changes the volume of the body without changing the configuration or you can say shape of the body. So we can say volumetric strain is equals to change in volume, changing volume over initial volume. If you want to write the formula here, if suppose we are talking about the condition in which the volume of the body decreases, so that time the change in volume supposed to be the initial volume is V and final volume is V plus V minus delta V. If the hydraulic stress acting from the outward direction of the body, which is spherical in shape, that time the change in final minus initial, the change in volume is this, it is decrease in volume, and the initial volume is this. So you can write this formula in this way. And on the other hand, if we talk about this condition in which on hanging some weight or given wire, the length of the wire increases, so we can write this formula delta L over L. Point here. So this is the definition, or you can say the formula of longitudinal strain, volumetric strain, and third one is shearing strain. As I have written there, shearing stress. So in this condition, by this force, deforming force which is acting in shearing stress condition. So the ratio of here, this is when as we are seeing here some change in their configuration without changing in its volume. So we can say here from this condition shearing strain overall it is a formula. Shearing strain means same as we can write change in configuration over initial configuration, which is known as this. Point clear? So but when we want to write the formula of this shearing strain, so you can see after applying this tangential force, the upper part of the body will shift toward the right hand side from left to right, from this side to this side. So due to this deforming force, the shape of the body changes, and here the upper part displaces from that point to that point. Supposed to be the linear distance is x. So we can say here, if you want to write the shearing strain. So let's see, in this triangle supposed to be O, A and B. In triangle OAB you will see tan theta is equals to perpendicular over base, which is equals to AB over OB. So tan theta is equal to what? ABX over L. So if the angle is very small, so that time the deforming strain or shearing strain x over L. So this theta is a deformation by this deforming force. So this theta is known as here shearing strain, which is equals to tan theta deforming angle. So that is a shearing strain formula. So if you want to write this formula here, you can write directly from the given diagram, you can see it is equals to, theta is equals to x upon n. Point clear? Now after that we will talk about the coefficient of elasticity in different conditions. So for that, pause the video and note down.